speaking of lame, um, our favorite Young Turk is, I guess, off on his own right now. I guess it's the difficulties between Azerbaijan and Armenia are making things difficult at home. But he went over to talk to Breaking Points, and they gave him 2 mugs instead of 1. So he's feeling very supported. And apparently he is staffing up to run for office in 2024 because Young Turks is failing.
An auspicious day here at Breaking Points. We have a very special guest joining us in studio, Cenk Uygur. He is the creator of the Young Turks and also author of...
And the guy who picked the name Young Turks, considering these were the people who were in charge of the Armenian genocide. And that's what you'd call it, because Brown Shirts was taken.
The brand new book that we have here, How Progressives Are Going to Take Over the Country and America is Going to Love It. Oh, I skipped the main title, which is Justice is Coming. So.
Indeed.
What was Justice's spurging wasn't pithy enough?
All right,
yes.
There we go.
Justice is here right now.
Right.
Yes, you have arrived.
Yeah, I am personally Justice. That's me. I am Justice in a corporate suit.
Justice has arrived. It's great to see you, Cenk. Thank you so
Good to
much for
see you
joining
guys.
us. I
Good
know
to see
you
you,
went through some lengths with the red eye and all that to be able to
so
get
we
here, and we're
appreciate
really grateful.
No problem. Thank you.
Yeah, we understand you're unwanted in your own studio right now, and so thanks for flying to the other side of the country so you don't have to look Anna in the eye.
So before we get into the book, any big hot takes from the debate last night? Is Doug Burgum going to surge into 0.6% of the vote? What do you think?
Well, I actually kind of like Doug Burgum. I thought he made some practical points, had actually done some things in his life, and he was the only one that was actually trying to be substantive. Okay, having said that, no, he will not surge to 0.6. So look, I've got a similar take as a lot of folks do. It was a mess, and it looked like the kids' table. They're constantly talking over each other.
Yeah.
They're running for second. Although I thought DeSantis was a little strong last night, stronger than he normally is, with a weird smile and all.
Yeah. I
But
think he's a little better than the first
Yeah,
debate.
and you
in
got the
my
most
opinion.
speaking time. So,
yeah,
True.
Yeah.
yeah, but all that
Yeah, totally. Yeah, excellent.
notwithstanding, both Democrats and Republicans don't really know how to hit Donald Trump. Chris Christie's the closest. At least he's aggressive and
Okay, first of all, no, Democrats have no problem doing it. What are they supposed to say? Rapist, war criminal, and that just leave it at that? Good Lord.
not shy about, not scared.
Yeah.
He's the only person in either party not scared of Trump. Having said that, I have a
Gavin Newsom's not scared of Trump. Joe Biden's not fucking scared of Trump. He jokes about him all the time.
1,000 better ways to hit Donald Trump, and they just
Okay, give us one.
won't do it. Hey, you should put a nickname on him, Spoiled Donnie.
Yeah, that'll do it. Spoiled Donnie. Yep. I don't know why nobody thought about that. Just, play his game. That's important because it'll hit everybody right in the, because nobody thought of mocking him.
got $400 million from his dad. He blew it all because he's a spoiled little child. And then when the country took his toy away, which was the American government, he wanted to break the toy, right? That's who he is, spoiled little baby. You have to undercut.
Is it Spoiled Donnie or Spoiled Little Baby? I was already printing the bumper stickers. This was supposed to be a surefire shot. I agree, chat room, by the way. Diaper Don is way better.
His strength. And the Democrats keep calling him racist, sexist, bigot, etc. Dude, everybody already knows that.
Yeah, they know it, but they don't know that he's a petulant asshole. What?
Okay, and for a lot of those voters, unfortunately, that's not the bug, that's the feature.
Jesus Christ. You're not going to convince anybody to vote for you just because somebody else is racist, sexist, or bigoted. As a matter of fact, they like it because that's how most people are. What the fuck is this?
But even so, it's not all folks who are,
Exactly.
there's a lot of anti-establishment people there, especially among independents. You need to deliver on issues, and you need to...
You mean like the infrastructure bill or lowering Medicare and Medicaid costs and the CHIPS Act and the biggest reshoring of factories in our nation's history, the lowest unemployment and longest running unemployment below 4% in 50 years.
Attacking where it hurts. He's a terrible businessman. He's weak, insecure, a baby. Undercut his strength instead of constantly feeding into he's too strong. Oh, that's a terrible way of attacking him.
Well, it's tough because a lot of Republicans
Yeah, I don't think a lot of them do the he's too strong story.
love Trump, and they don't even. I mean, anything that codes that way, they're going to say is liberal. But I'm curious, actually.
Sagar likes Trump, by the way. This guy. He likes Trump. He's a Trump fan.
About why you
You can tell by the way he brings it up. Crystal kind of leans away from it.
decided to write this book in the middle of the Biden era, and what you see as the justice coming, how the progressives are going to take over in the middle of an administration, which has probably been middling from your guys' perspective. So why do you think that this is the tide going in that direction?
Yeah, so I'm really worried about 2024, which we'll probably get into in a second.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably.
But after 2024, it's all us. I explained in chapter 6, this is not false hope. It's backed up by overwhelming data. So the young are incredibly progressive. The top
They always are. And then they either grow up or settle in.
Republican pollster Frank Luntz has his toupee on fire.
Yes.
He's like, they're coming. And I show
It means look, just because the Republicans are going away and because the young vote is moving away from them does not mean that they are leaping to the far left idea of this. It's silly. As a matter of fact, most of them are settling into a much more centrist idea.
in the book,
They're shunning extremism.
even the states that Bernie Sanders lost in 2020, he wins with crushing margins for under 45. Under 45, is it really still young? And this election is going to be under 49. And by 2028, it's going to be under 54. And then we've got a majority. And so we can
Oh, I see. Because those people won't change in their voting. They will stick with whoever. No.
win a Democratic
And Bernie's not running, by the way.
primary, and we could win a general election. So it's actually, all we have to do is make sure that we don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory.
Which is, I think, what the TYT moniker is under the show, right? The Young Turks, snatching defeat from the jaws of victory since 2001.
There's no question we're going to win in the long run. It isn't about race. It isn't about sex. It isn't about gender identity.
Yeah, those are all bullshit things. They don't really matter to anybody anyways. That's just a distraction. Listen to Jimmy Dore. He'll tell you.
It's about age. We have the young on our side, and it
Yes, I don't know if you know this about young people, but they age. They actually don't stay the same. they actually, years pass. I know, because I just had a birthday.
is a tsunami. But we just can't lose democracy in 2024, and that's why I'm really worried about Biden.
Interesting.
How
Why?
is this different from the arguments that were made about the quote unquote coalition of the ascendant and the idea that, demographics
Which she hears from her husband, boyfriend, Kyle Kalinske. Yeah.
are destiny,
Husband.
and therefore, the Republicans are going to be vanquished, and then we end up getting Donald Trump. And it turns out, Latinos have been shifting. Democrats still win Latinos, but there has been a notable shift there. There's been some shift, even more marginal, among Black voters and Black men in particular. So isn't it a little bit too triumphant to assume that these demographic groups that support progressive values and tend to support Democrats right now are just going to continue to vote in the same way that they have?
Or, by the way, and it's not even that, Crystal. It is the fact that he's expecting them to go even further down that road, as opposed to moderating at all.
Historically.
Yeah, so those are great questions. So there's a couple of very important differences. So first of all, Democrats took those minority demographics for granted. They're like, oh, Black people and Latinos are always going to vote for us.
Right.
Jesus Christ. No, they didn't. Stop it. Did you hear how people talked simply about Black female voters during the entire 2020 election? Joe Biden specifically won in South Carolina because of that. Oh, the Pac-Man interview with Cenk? Oy, really? It's the same stuff? Shall I look it up? It's probably the same conversation because he's selling the book, right? Hold on. No. At what point, motherfucker, at what point, hold on, is it, hold on 1 second. Audio good, mic check. Da-da-da. I'll open that up in a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick.
Today we're going to be speaking with Cenk Uygur, host of the Young Turks and also author
who might know the secret word
of the new book Justice is Coming.
Who's on the loneliest version of Hollywood Squares ever.
How progressives are going to take over the country and America is going to love it. I'm most of the way through the book, Cenk, and you talk about so many different things that are relevant to the 2024 election, to what's happened in the past, maybe just to pick something interesting that relates to what you discuss in the book. You seem, I think, increasingly worried that Joe Biden's reelection is going to go haywire, that he's going to lose, that he can't beat Trump if that's who the nominee is. The context, although you're not directly addressing this necessarily in the book, the context you talk about in the book relates to it. Am I accurately understanding your view on the Biden reelection?
100%, yeah. Look, nothing is...
This is, by the way, the same guy who told us that he couldn't win to start with.
In terms of probabilities of winning, nothing is 0 or 100%. Everything...
Yeah. I mean, it could go either way, but mainly anywhere between 1 and 99%, I'm right.
is on a spectrum somewhere, right?
Yep.
Sure.
Yep.
So, and unfortunately, a lot of people think in a binary way. Well, he won last time. That means he's going to win this time. No, it doesn't work that way.
I thought it was just simple. I thought it was automatic. I wasn't even planning on motivating people to vote. As a Democrat who actually wants the things that we're trying to accomplish, I was just like, I'll just phone it in. Fuck it.
It's a percentage chance. And with Joe Biden, any rational person realizes that the percentage chance of him beating Trump is much lower than if we had a strong Democratic candidate.
All right. First of all, he is a strong Democratic candidate. And also the idea that Trump is actually got a winning strategy at fucking all is just is dumb.
Now, why is he quote unquote not strong? Well, look at the polling. It's not my opinion. And this isn't progressive.
Well, then why does the Predict It say that he's got 63 cents to the dollar is on him winning, and Trump is coming in at like 40, and everybody else is like 2
versus moderate? That has nothing to do with any of this. I don't have a progressive alternative. There's no Trojan horse that we're going to sneak in and voila, Nina Turner's president. No. Okay. I mean, I would love that, but no. Okay. No, I'll take Josh Shapiro from Pennsylvania. I'll take Governor Beshear from Kentucky just to increase our percentage chances. So why
wouldn't you go Gavin Newsom? Gavin Newsom is the far and away ahead second choice for a lot of people. He's obviously ascendant. It's because he doesn't like Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is insufficiently doughy for what he wants. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Why are they so low, David? They're low because 72% of the country says that they don't even think he's going to make it through a second term.
Who gives a fuck? If he does, they'll still vote for him.
That's a disastrous poll.
That's just dumb.
And so we could try to wish that away, but we can't. His approval...
We don't have to wish it away. If he survives his first term and he's running and the election comes around and he's campaigning and doing all that stuff, that will work itself out.
Rating in half the recent polls are in the 30s. If you're in the 40s as an incumbent, you're very likely to lose. If you're in the 30s, I've literally never seen it happen. So, I mean, and remember, when he won the Electoral College
by the way, in a recent poll, he beats Trump by 14%, a bigger margin than he had back then. It's also a fucking year away.
By a razor-thin margin. He won the popular vote by 4.5 points. So he has to be up at a bare minimum 4.5, but then you're playing dice with democracy. So realistically, he has to be...
He won by 8 million fucking votes.
Up 5 points. And right now he's losing. Come on, guys, think about it. He's losing to the moron Donald Trump right now. It's inconceivable. It cannot...
Right. It's inconceivable because you're quoting the Wall Street Journal poll that Donald Trump's own super PAC paid for the poll itself. You're reading Trump's internal good news polls. This is just dumb. I could continue to bore everyone and myself with this, but good Lord. I mean, imagine selling your book this way as somebody who allegedly wants, and that's the hashtag fauxgressive part of the TYT, allegedly wants all the things that they say they want, and yet every time we get even remotely close to a plurality or a margin wherein there would be a mandate for these ideas, they're like, dial it back, fuck this, everybody out. Nobody's purity test. It's purity test time. We need to, if we ever get near a 60-40 margin in the Senate and the House again, it'll be a fucking disaster because the corporate Dems will corporate Dem stuff. So what we need to do is make sure that the Republicans know that there is no fucking mandate and that the root of the Democratic Party, the alleged root of the Democratic Party, the people who believe themselves to have the purest version of the Democratic Party's ideals, that those people will turn tail and book at the first sign of trouble, and therefore they have nothing to fucking fear from the voter base. Yeah. Oi. Lame.